Puss in Boots. There was once an old miller who had 3 sons. When the miller died, he left the mill to his oldest son. The middle son was given the donkeys. The youngest son, a kind man, who had always put his father and brothers before himself, was left nothing but his father's cat. But this was a different cat, a cat with great character, who could stand on his hind legs and hold his head up high, and speak in a human voice.
Wow! Buy me a fine pair of boots, and I will help you make your fortune, for your father thought you deserved it,
replied the cat. A talking cat? The miller's son could not believe his ears. So the miller's son bought the cat a fine pair of boots, and the 2 of them set off to seek their fortune. After a while, they came to a grand palace. "Wouldn't it be wonderful to live so grandly?" said the miller's son. Later, while the miller's son was sleeping, the cat went hunting and caught a rabbit. He put it in a sack and took it to the palace.
"A gift to the king from my master, the Marquis of Carabas,"
said the cat, presenting it to the king. The cat went back to the miller's son and told him what he had done.
"Now the king will want to know who the Marquis of Carabas is,"
laughed the cat. A clever cat. The miller's son could not believe his ears. Every day for a week, the cat delivered a gift to the king, each time saying it was from the Marquis of Carabas. After a while, the king became very curious and decided he'd like his daughter to meet this mysterious nobleman, whoever he might be. When the cat heard that the king and his daughter were on their way, he wasted no time.
"Right, master, you must take off all your clothes and stand in the river. Right, meow,"
the cat told his master. The puzzled miller's son did as he was told, and the cat hid his master's tattered old clothes behind a rock. When the cat heard the king's carriage approaching, he jumped onto the road and begged for help.
"Your gracious majesty,"
said the cat,
"my master was robbed of all his clothes while he was bathing in the river."
The king gave the miller's son a suit of fine clothes to wear. "Please join us in the carriage," said the king. So the cat opened the door, and the miller's son, in all his new finery, climbed in. He looked very handsome in his new suit. The king's daughter fell in love with him at once. The cat ran on, cutting through the surrounding countryside. Every time he met people working in the fields, he told them,
"Now, if the king stops to ask who owns this land, you must tell him it belongs to the Marquis of Carabas,"
said the cat. Beyond the fields, the cat reached a grand castle. He spoke to the people working in a field next to it and discovered it belonged to a fierce ogre. The cat stood bravely in his boots and knocked on the castle door. "Who dares to disturb me?" roared a voice from inside the castle.
"I have heard that you are a very clever ogre,"
called the cat.
"I have come to see what tricks you can do."
The ogre opened the door and immediately changed himself into a great snarling lion. The cat felt scared, but he didn't show it.
"This is quite a clever trick,"
said the cat.
"but a lion is a very large creature. I think it would be a much better trick to change into something very small, like a mouse.
The ogre liked to show off his tricks. He changed at once into a little mouse. The cat pounced on the mouse and ate him up. Then the cat went into the castle and told all of the servants that their new master was the Marquis of Carabas. They were glad to be rid of the fierce ogre, so they did not complain.
The king is on his way to visit, and you must prepare a grand feast to welcome him,
said the cat. When the king's carriage arrived at the castle, the cat was waiting to welcome him.
Your gracious majesty,
he purred.
Welcome to the home of my master, the Marquis of Carabas.
A cunning cat. The miller's son could not believe his eyes.
You must ask for the princess's hand in marriage,
whispered the cunning cat to his master. The miller's son did as he was told. The king, who was impressed by everything he saw, agreed. Soon the Marquis of Carabas and his wife were married, and they lived a long, happy life together. The cat was made a lord of their court, and was given the most splendid clothes, which he wore proudly, along with those fine boots that the miller's son had bought him. The end.